Happy Hanukkah. Happy Hanukkah. Oh, that was closer, but let's do it again. Happy Hanukkah. It's so good to be with you on this Shabbat afternoon as the light is beginning to get a little bit quiet for us as we prepare to celebrate the second to last night of Hanukkah. The thing that I love about this second part of Hanukkah is how incredible it is that we have the ability to bring all of this light into the world as the world is getting darker and darker, right? Our nights are getting earlier and earlier. It feels like sometimes I wake up and the sun has started to set. Does anybody have that problem? Yeah, Anybody leaving school at the end of the day and it's already dark out? Yeah, work. Anybody leaving work at the end of the day and it's dark out? Right. And you know what we do? We set the world alight. We add all of the light, all of our joys, all of our blessings into that darkness as if to say, it is dark and there is light also. And so it is such a joy to be with you all who are joining us in person, those who are joining us digitally. We are delighted to be celebrating the second to last night of Hanukkah together. Oh, it's me again, isn't it? I was doing this all last night. We're going to work on this problem, I promise. I rarely growl. When I do, you know it. Thank you.
Thought we'd begin with lighting our Hanukkah candles. Here, got the blessings up on a screen for you. And last night we were talking about points of light, the places we're feeling light in our own lives. I know for me, feeling the presence of other human beings in the sanctuary again is such a point of light, and hearing your voices, hearing our voices together is so light-filling for me. So we know also, we were saying, Charlotte was saying this is her first time back in the sanctuary, and Sam, so we just want to welcome you back. If this is your first time, just raise your hand. Welcome back, welcome back. The word Hanukkah means rededicate, and it feels like we're doing that right now, like rededicating ourselves to this opportunity we have to reestablish our community in our sanctuary again. So it feels miraculous to be lighting the candles together tonight. Everyone. And let us sing some Hanukkah songs together. The first song is called a very sacred song. Take a potato, pat, 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 roll it until it's flat, flat, flat. Hand motions are needed for this.
For sure.
Kids, you've got the hand motions for this, I know. So if you would help the adults around you with the hand motions, that would be wonderful. And here we go. Take the potato, pat, 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 roll it until it's flat. motions though. Yeah, don't you think? Yeah. All right, let's take it a little faster. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Take a potato, pat, pat, pat. Roll it until it's flat, flat, flat. Fry it again with fat, fat, fat. Hanukkah latkes, just like that. Watch the potato spin, spin, spin. It will land on the in a hay or shin. Play with your friends and win, win, win. Hanukkah potato spin, spin, spin. Ooh, nicely done, everyone. There's a song called Judah Maccabee that tells the story of Hanukkah so beautifully. And we don't often get to sing it right on Hanukkah together. So this feels so special tonight to be able to sing this song together. Sing it out, even with your mask on. A long time ago, in a land called Moni, lived a young man named Judah, brave and serene. When Antiochus the tyrant said the Jews could not be free, he didn't count on Judah, the one called Maccabee. In the window shining so bright, I could see the Hanukkah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. Now Judah and his brothers said it wasn't right to take away their freedom. They knew they had to fight. They fought through long years till the king could take no more. They rebuilt the holy temple, its beauty they restored. In the window shining so bright, I can see the Hanukkah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. And when the temple was restored, the brothers searched and searched in vain for oil to light the lamps, but not enough remained, except for one small vial, enough to last one day. But instead it burned for 8, and they proclaimed a holiday. In the window shining so bright, I can see the Hanukkah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. Tonight we light our lamps, sing our songs and play our games. We remember that great miracle hidden in the flames. And today throughout the world we rejoice that we are free to carry out the mission of Judah Maccabee. In the window shining so bright, I can see the Hanukkah light, and it gives me such a warm, friendly glow when I think of Judah Maccabee so long ago. to hear your voices on that song. It's beautiful. Jacob, there's a seat right here in the front if you'd like. And Greg, there's one right there. We got a full house. This is so nice. And without further ado, we introduce a woman who needs no introduction, Cindy Rivka Marsha, to tell us a Hanukkah story. Put your hands together. Woo, and thank you so much, Cindy.
Oh, it's so sweet to be here with you all in person and those of you tuning in on Zoom. It's just, what an amazing thing, right? To be in person. So happy Hanukkah. The story I'm going to tell you is a Jewish folktale that the author Nina Jaffe transposed to have it take place during Hanukkah. And with her permission, I'm going to tell you my own version of this story. Once, long, long ago, in a far-off land, there was a king. He liked to disguise himself as a beggar. He thought, what better way to go out among the people in my city and see how they are living and what they are really thinking. And so one night, this is what he did. He took a tattered cloak and he wrapped himself in it and he put the hood up to cover his face. And he walked out into the streets. And he wandered into the Jewish quarter. He had heard there was a holiday happening, Hanukkah, and he was curious to learn more about it. And to tell you the truth, he was so bored with his life, signing royal documents in the palace, he wondered what he might be missing. And so, as he was walking down the street, he looked, and in the windows, he saw candles flickering. And he could hear children laughing and playing games. He heard people singing. Oh, and the smell of something frying and delicious reached him in the street. He kept on walking until he came to the outskirts of the city, and there he saw a rundown shack. He thought nobody lived there until he heard a woman singing. Now, she was singing the blessing that you know. We sing when it's the first of something, to give praise to God for bringing us to this moment. So maybe you'd like to join in with me, because this is what he heard her singing. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, she'ehyanu v'kiyamanu v'higyanu l'zman hazeh. And as the king, disguised as a beggar, came around and saw this woman in the window, well, she had such a happy expression on her face. And he was so curious that he went over and he knocked on the door. Do you want to knock with me? And the woman opened the door and she saw this beggar standing there saying, "Do you have any food to spare?" "Oh, well, come in. You're welcome to join me. I don't have much." And the king sat himself down at the little wooden table, and he shared this woman's bit of bread and cheese. And he looked around the room. Now, he was used to living in luxury, and he saw she did not have much at all. And yet she seemed so happy. He couldn't understand it. And so he asked, "How is it that you earn your money?" "Well," she said, "I gather the seawater and I dry the salt. I sell the salt in the marketplace." "But aren't you worried? I mean, what if misfortune should fall and then you were not able to earn a living? What would you do?" "Oh," said the woman, "today is today. Tomorrow is yet to come. You know, it is the first night of the holiday of Hanukkah. And it is a time when we celebrate the miracle of light. I know that God will provide. the king was walking home that night, he was thinking to himself, how is it that this woman, her name was Hannah, how could she be so happy given her circumstances? I wonder if I were to throw obstacles in her path, if she would not be so faithful. Well, that next day, the king had it announced throughout the city, there shall be no selling of salt allowed in this city. It is forbidden. He thought, she will have no way of earning money this day. I will see how she feels tonight. And once again, he wandered through the city that night, and he came to that shack, and he once again could hear her. She was just finishing the second Hanukkah blessing. Maybe you can join me in that. Sha'asa nisim lavotenu bayamim ha'hem ba'azman hazeh. And once again, the king knocked on the door. Oh, hello. Do you mind if I come in again? May I join you? You're welcome to come in. I do have a bit of bread and cheese and fruit. You'd like, I'll share with you. And the king once again sat down with Hannah. How is it that you managed to earn money for this food this day? Well, I was not allowed to sell salt. And so I joined a group of woodcutters. I gathered kindling in the forest, and I sold that in the market. But aren't you worried about the future and what you will do each day to continue to eat? Today is today. Tomorrow is yet to come. I'm sure that God will provide. Well, each day of that week of Hanukkah, the king, it was almost like a game for him. He kept on throwing obstacles in her path, forbidding this way and that way of earning money, and yet she always seemed to find a way. And then the king had an idea. You see, in that city, there was a law that every adult had to serve for 1 week as part of the royal guard. Now, for that week, they were given a suit of, They were given a suit of armor and a sword of steel. And they were told that they had to report to work every day that week, and they were not paid any wages at all. This was a way to show their loyalty to the king, and if they did not fulfill this duty, they would be asked to leave the city. And the king had Hannah's name put on the list. Well, she showed up for work that day, and she was given that suit of armor and that sword of steel. And the king thought, oh, she will have no way to earn money this whole week. Surely her faith in God will falter. Surely she will not be so cheerful. And yet, when he came to see her again that night, there she was. She welcomed him in. She invited him to share. Why, she even had a bit of wine that night. How did you earn your money today? Oh, she said, I had to go serve in the royal guard. And they gave me this beautiful sword of steel. I brought it to the local wood carver, and I sold it to him. And I asked him to fashion for me a wooden sword that fits right in the leather sheath. Well, they will have no way of knowing that I have done this. I figure by the end of the week, I'll find a way to buy back the sword, and all will be well. Well, when the king left that night, he thought, oh, now I can trap her. So the next day, when Hannah was standing outside the palace with the royal guard, suddenly the Grand Vizier came and said, there has been a man caught stealing from the king. He is now prisoner and he is to be put to death, and you have been selected to do it. Hannah said, me? I don't. She had no choice but to follow into the courtyard, where she saw a crowd of people gathering, and this poor prisoner kneeling on the ground, his head on a rock. She didn't know what to do. If this man was being put to death for stealing, what would happen to her for having sold that sword? But looking around, she had an idea. My friends, she said, this is the Hebrew month of Kislev, the month of miracles. Now, I am a woman who follows the ways of the Torah, and I do not wish to kill anyone. And yet, the king has said that I am to be the one to do that. I just ask you to think of this. If this man is indeed guilty of the crime, I will take my sword and slay him. And yet, if by some chance this man is innocent, then let this sword be turned to wood. Everyone couldn't believe their eyes. It's a miracle. The sword was turned to wood. It's a Hanukkah miracle. Why, the prisoner is saved. Now, the king had been hiding behind a tree, and he was the only one who knew what Hannah had done. That night, he walked through the city to Hannah's little home. And when she opened the door, she saw the king in all of his royal splendor standing there along with his advisors. And she looked more closely at his face. Oh, she welcomed them in and crowded into that little home. The king said before them all, "This woman, Hannah, well, she is so resourceful. She is so wise and clever, and well, I have much to learn from her, especially about her faith in God. And so I wish to make her one of my advisors." Well, from that time on, she and the king, well, they talked over many matters, and she advised him well. In time, the kingdom was peaceful, and everyone was living harmoniously. And, well, the people loved Hannah because she brought a feeling of joy and kindness and gladness to all that she met. And she was called Hannah the Joyful for the end of her days.
Cindy, thank you so much. That was a wonderful story. Oh my goodness. Should we sing a little bit? And then, so the sun is going down. Hope you've been able to see these beautiful colors out there. And pretty soon we will light our Havdalah candle and the Havdalah as well. But let's sing a few more Hanukkah songs. You may know this one. I have a little dreidel, I made it out of clay, and when it's done and ready, oh dreidel I shall play. Oh dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's done and ready, oh dreidel I... Oh my God, that is so incredible. My dreidel is always playful, it loves to dance and spin, and when it gets all tired, it rocks and then I win. Oh, dreidel, 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 I made it out of clay, and when it's dry and ready, oh, dreidel, I shall. All right, who has a verse that they would like to share with us? Oh, we got somebody back there. Alex, is that you? Margaret, go right ahead. Woo! I have a little dreidel, I made it out of air, and when I went to spin it, my dreidel wasn't there. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. All right, anyone else have one?
I have a little deal. I made it up bread. When I went to get it, I ate it up.
When I went to spin it, I ate it up instead. Nice, Aya. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of bread. And when I went to spin it, I ate it up instead. Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of bread. And when I went to spin it, I ate it up instead. All right, one more. Who's got, okay, let's hear it. I have a little dreidel. I made it out of snow. I put it in the oven. Where did my dreidel go? Oh, dreidel, dreidel, dreidel. I made it out of snow. I put it in the oven. Where did my dreidel go? Beautifully done, everyone. I feel like we need maybe, don't let the lights go out, light one candle. It's just, yeah, right. And we've been talking through these weeks of preparing for Hanukkah with our learning course students about what it means. You know, what is it? What is the light that we don't want to go out? Like, what are we singing about? And we'll get those lyrics up there maybe so you can see how brilliant this song is. First of all, by Peter Yarrow of Peter, Paul, and Mary fame. And he puts in this song 8 times where he says, light one candle for the 8 nights of Hanukkah. And then in the chorus, he says, don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. So what are you feeling tonight? What's the light that you're hoping just will last forever? What is the light that we're so drawn to? Yeah. Hope. Aya says the light. Let's not let the light of hope go out. Beautiful. Happiness. Yeah. Togetherness. Amen. Amen.
So good to be together again.
All our traditions.
Yeah, so Maya said all of our traditions as Jews, Jewishness, right? Like that's, yeah, beautiful, Maya.
Health. Amen, Brett. Health. With all of those lights and all of our lights that we're carrying with us, join our voices. We sing 8 times, one for each night. It's a miracle. And night after night, for thousands of years in this dark time, people have brought their lights to this tradition.
One candle for the Maccabee children, give thanks that their light didn't die. Light one candle for the pain they endured when their right to exist was denied. Light one candle for the terrible sacrifice justice and freedom demand. And light one candle for the wisdom to know when the peacemaker's time is at hand. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years, so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Light one candle for the strength that we need to never become our own foe. Light one candle for those who are suffering the pain we learned so long ago. Light one candle for all we believe in. Let anger not tear us apart. And light one candle to bind us together with peace as a song in our hearts. Don't let the light go out. the memory that's valued so highly that we keep it alive in that flame. What's the commitment to those who have died when we cry out they've not died in vain? We have come this far, always believe that justice will somehow prevail. This is the burden, and this is the promise, and this is why we will not fail. Don't let the light go out. It's lasted for so many years. Don't let the light go out. Let it shine through our love and our tears. Don't let the light go out. Big finish. Don't let the light go out. Don't let the light go out. Woo! Nice job, everyone. So I am finding it very moving that we have six seventh graders and one eighth grader here tonight in this sanctuary. And I am just wondering, you guys, if you would come on up to help us lead Havdalah, and come on up, okay? And seventh graders, come on up.
Recent B'nai Mitzvah.
So of this crowd, 4 are already B'nai Mitzvah, 3 on deck. It's good to have you up here. No, this is a spontaneous move. Yeah. And I do just want to point out something too, which is so inspiring to me, is that these people up here are our future leaders, both here at Shir Tikvah, our youth community, and beyond, as they will go into their adult lives way down the road from now. And when we say to each student at the day of their bar mitzvah, the B'nai Mitzvah, you are now an adult member of this community. You are now in charge of your own meaning making in this community and beyond. And here you guys are doing this. And Aya is here. I'm just going to call you out. Aya lives down the street and just came on her own, without her parents even being here, taking charge of her own identity, of her own meaning making, of her own being part of this community. So thank you guys for being here, for being our inspiration, and to everybody here. Normally for Havdalah, we are in a circle and kind of all close to each other. And obviously in these days, it's a little bit harder for that physically, but let's feel that connection to one another, even as we're sitting in rows. As we lean with our hearts into each other.
To those who you can lean towards.
And at this beautiful time as the sun is truly setting, and we leave this Shabbat in the company of each other. The blessing over the wine. המבדיל בין קודש לחול, המבדיל בין קודש לחול. לה 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 לה, לה 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 לה. Now we listen for that sizzle. Shavua Tov, everyone. Sound good? You stay here just for a moment. And hey, you too. So I think now might be, we're almost to latke eating time. Are you feeling hungry? Raise your hand if you could use a latke. All right, that's good. It's gonna be so beautiful out there, you guys. There's lights out there, there's latkes, there's even applesauce for your latkes. So we are gonna have some fun down there. I feel that we, yeah, I think we need one song to launch us downstairs. A song called Lots of Latkes, very appropriately, I feel. Yes. And if any other kids want to come up, you don't have to be in 7th or 8th grade, because come on up, Sam, if you want, and Felix, if you want, come on up. An open invitation page, come on up. All right, here we go. This is a 3-parter. Here's the first part. Lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots. Let's all eat them up. Lots of latkes, lots of latkes, lots of latkes. All right, here's the second part. Hard. Maccabee, 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 Maccabee. Woof! Nice job, everyone. So let us go eat.
Participate in a mitzvah. Project Ezra is something our community has been doing for years with Temple Isaiah. On Christmas, we used to feed, about 4 years ago, we were feeding about 250 people meals, and now we're feeding 500 people meals. It involves cooking at home. It involves going to Temple Isaiah and assembling meals. It involves delivering. There are about endless ways for you to participate and help in this mitzvah that our two communities are engaged in. So please, 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 we still have tremendous amount of need at this stage. Please go sign up. It's a wonderful mitzvah for your whole family to participate in. Project Ezra, thank you so much.
It will be in Monday's update, so take a look there. You'll be able to sign up. be a live link there. And we are going to sing you downstairs. So you can grab your coats and we'll see you downstairs.